Hey, this is Pug Dog here, and this is Adventures in Backpacking, where we talk about our love of the outdoors and share some of our favorite trips with you. If adventuring and backpacking is something that you love too, hit subscribe and follow along with us. So this August, North Star and I did a hike called the Cotswold Way in England. The Cotswold Way is a 102-mile hike in central England that goes between towns, over pastures and farmland and forest. It's a really beautiful hike. You follow the acorn signs. How do we prepare for this hike? So first of all, there is a Guthook app for this hike, which helped immensely in the planning, and it also helped immensely in the day-to-day following the trail logistics. We planned for this hike kind of last minute. So one thing to know about this particular hike, or walk as they would call it in England, is that there really isn't a lot of camping on trail. So I wouldn't even bother bringing a tent. There are a few places that you could pay to camp, but it's not even worth bringing a tent because you're going to have to stay in towns. And most websites that we found recommended that you book about 9 months in advance. These are small towns in the Cotswolds that you're passing through, and they don't have a lot of accommodations. Now, that being said, North Star and I planned this hike 1 or 2 weeks in advance. It was kind of a spontaneous trip, and so we were able to find accommodations. The only downside was that the accommodations were maybe a little pricier than some people are looking for because we didn't have as many options, and we had to do maybe a few more miles each day than we would have liked. Otherwise, we were able to find accommodations for the 6 days that we hiked the Cotswold Way. There are some companies that will plan your entire trip for you, and the majority of the people that we met on the trail who were hiking the entire 102 miles, most of them did book through one of these companies, and these companies will pick up your luggage at the inn you stayed at that night and bring it to your next inn, so that after you've walked however many miles for that day, your things are waiting for you at your next destination. That's not so much North Star and my speed. We kind of like to be self-sufficient, so we carried all of our own things in our packs, and really there weren't many things that we needed at all. We brought town clothes. We don't always bring town clothes, but because we were spending a lot of time in town with people who weren't necessarily hikers, we brought lightweight town clothes and lightweight sandals to change into when we arrived to town. Spare undies and socks. We also brought windbreakers, a pair of track pants. We brought both umbrellas and a poncho. The poncho was more for on the trail for heavy rain, but in town it would have been it was easier to move around with our lightweight umbrellas, and it was worth the very small amount of weight for us to have both, because we did experience rain while we were on this trip. Money and passports. So of course we exchanged our cash for British cash. A lot of the places were cash only, but our credit cards did also work in England. Toiletries, so toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, a razor, and a comb. That was it for toiletries. Cell phone, charger, and then of course a universal adapter, because our charger plugs don't work the same in Europe. A bottle or two of water we would carry every day. You're passing through towns so frequently that you don't need to carry a lot of food and water. We carried a couple snacks, but really you eat breakfast at most of these inns in the morning. Most of the inns provide breakfast. you're passing through a town around lunchtime. You can stop and have lunch, and then by the time you reach your inn in the evening, most of these inns also serve dinner. So you have your dinner, you have a pint, and there really wasn't a lot that you needed to carry with you, which kept our packs nice and light. This was a really awesome trail. It was something that I had never even heard of until North Star suggested that we do it. But it is an easy enough hike that anybody could do it. It's beautiful. The people that you meet along the trail, the local color is just wonderful. And we're putting out 6 videos of our trek, and I hope that you enjoy our videos, and I hope that if you're inspired by this trail, maybe you check it out yourselves, because it really was an awesome adventure.